and welcome to the show. Enrique, it's Saturday.
Yeah, it is.
How's it going?
It's good. I think I was telling you earlier, I'm going through this like little funk, you know?
You're not alone, dude, but what are you feeling?
Gosh. Well, earlier I said it's not an existential crisis, so I'm not questioning my place in the world or how old I am. It's more just like I just feel sad. And I look at the news and it makes me sadder. And so I don't know, maybe it is existential. Wow. I don't know, dude. It's a big question.
It's everything that's happening, dude. I get it. I feel the same way, dude. Eggs are like $15, dude. that's the first sign of the apocalypse if I ever knew one.
Oh shoot, man! Speaking of the apocalypse, dude, like, tornadoes hitting us, and
Pico Rivera got hit by a tornado last night. Jeez,
I mean, we're like in Southern California. Tornadoes should not be happening here. We had one. Was it the one in Montebello? Remember,
Yeah.
where like a little shed or some like.
There was one in Paramount too.
Yeah, so I don't know, man. The end times are near.
Monkey, the thing is, when we were kids, there were no tornadoes. There were like nothing like that.
I know that.
Oh, you know that? Okay, I'm not too sure. 15-year-old, I don't know, but yeah, it was a thing where back in the days, they would say there'll never be tornadoes in California, and there'll never be hurricanes in California, which is true.
And
but
we got both.
We got both. We just had a hurricane. What year? Last year? Was it last year?
Like last year, 2 years ago, something like that.
Yeah, dude, that's freaking crazy, man. It's crazy, but it's the end of times.
That ruined us from going to our first football game.
Oh, that's right. That is right, huh? It got canceled because of that.
Yeah.
That sucks, dude. But hey, man, you're doing better in football, so that's a good thing. But Enrique, yeah, I agree, dude. It's troublesome, all the things that are happening. It's a little, like I said, it's like it's not stuck in a rut, but yeah, it's like no joy.
No joy.
Yeah. Anyhow.
Hey, you know what? Hey, cheers
Chin.
to our third episode.
To the apocalypse.
Yeah, to the apocalypse. To the end times. Let me ask you this. Have you watched the show Invincible?
Yeah, I just finished the season finale.
What'd you think, man?
I loved it. I thought it was great. I didn't like that they killed off Rex, but I mean, it was going to happen. But
Spoiler.
Yeah, sorry.
Who's Rex? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. My dog, he died.
Your dog, yeah.
But no, that kind of bummed me out.
I was reading the IGN review for that particular episode, and you know, I normally don't agree with their reviews. I find them to be very
bot.
Yeah, sure. I don't know. I never suspected it's like an inside job kind of thing.
Yeah.
I just think that it just might be like weird opinions or people who are not necessarily really invested in the show who have to review it so that they can earn money for their article. I don't know, but I did agree with a lot of what they said about the episode. Like, it was cool. It was beautifully animated. There was this one sequence where,
definitely.
Climactic battle between Negan and Glenn, joke, because the voice of Conquest is
Jeffrey Dean Morgan,
right? And he played Negan, and then of course we all know that Invincible Mark is played by Steven Yeun.
Yeah,
is that his name?
Steven Yeun.
And Steven Yeun. Okay, and so there's this great sequence where he knocks him across the city. And as he falls through buildings, like, you can just see like the animation of the building as he hits the ground and he gets up. Like, you can see frame by frame as he's like lifting himself off the rubble and his hair's coming out. And I'm thinking, wow, that's beautifully animated. So you can see all the budget went there. But in terms of story points, like, I didn't feel like they earned it. And it felt like it was a retread of that like amazing first season finale for the first episode.
It was
where him and his father did the exact same thing.
Yeah,
but there was like no emotional stakes. I mean, in the same vein, like, Conquest is like knocking Mark around and plowing him through like civilians on the beach and everywhere. And at any point, you know, the whole season, Mark was like questioning death. And I know that at the end, he comes to this conclusion of like, don't care if anyone threatens my family, I will kill them. Like, that's supposed to be some big character change in him.
Right.
I didn't feel it. But that being said, it's still a great season. I enjoyed it. When I re-binge it in a few weeks, I'm sure it's gonna be great.
Yeah, no, it was great. It was great. Isaac brought up a funny point, but I mean, it's obvious where he's like, why is he called Invincible and he's always getting beat up? So it's like screwed up, and I'm like, I think that's the point. Like, when he thinks he's invincible, but he's not. I think that's the whole point behind it. It's the irony behind the fact that he's full of shit.
Yeah. So Every time, like they make a joke about like his invincibility, like, oh, I think you're overestimating yourself.
Yeah.
I appreciate that because like that's exactly the point.
Yeah.
I mean, but I think at some point in the story down the line, he will truly be near invincible. I mean, that's the potential of the Viltrumites, right?
Right.
So I don't know. Yeah. But it's cool. It's surprisingly, I remember this show or this comic from like 20 years ago because it came out about 20 years ago. Am I right? About
Right.
2004.
Oh yeah.
And I thought it looked so generic. I was not at all interested in this thing, man.
Well, I think that was also intentional.
So I feel like I missed out. Like I missed out as I've been watching this. I went back and bought the comic books, been reading them, and it's been a ride, dude.
Yeah.
I'm excited for like where the show is gonna go.
Hopefully it goes like the comics. It does go in the same direction. I mean, I like what they changed a little bit up, but it's got to go that way. And then those Martian tentacle things, Squad. They're at the end. I guess it's like a little spoiler for the future, I guess.
Yeah, you know what I also appreciate is Dark Blood. I think his name is
Darkwing.
Dark Blood.
Darkwing.
No, Dark Blood.
Oh, the Etrigan.
Yeah, the Etrigan guy. He's like the demon detective.
Yeah.
He was not really that big of a character in the comics, but people really liked his character in the first season. That they're fleshing him out more, which I really like. So I'm excited to see that he's coming back in the next season.
Yeah, that's pretty cool too. I always see him and I'm like, oh, Etrigan. But I mean, I get it. It's on purpose, but I think it's a great character.
Right.
And do you play the mobile app game?
I don't. No, I didn't even know there was one.
Yeah, I have it. Guardians of the Universe or something. It's called
or Guardians of the Globe.
But it's the Guardians of the Globe, but it's not called Guardians. It's like a play on the Guardians of the Globe. Like,
Okay.
I think, I don't know, Unknown or something. I don't know, but it's basically one of those like strategy games where you like level up your team. You change who you have, give them equipment and stuff, and you just go. It's just not a button mashup, but it's one of those like you set it up strategy and then you just wait and let it do its thing. It's fun though. I've been playing nonstop. I'm stuck, but I've unlocked all the characters.
Okay.
I just got multi-paw, so I'm like, all right, cool. He sucks though, by the way. He really sucks on that game.
Yeah.
And I just heard Robert Kirkman confirmed they are working on an actual video game for the consoles.
That's good.
And he says it's great, but of course, he's a little impartial because it's his, property.
Other than the Arkham series and the Spider-Man series, like what superhero video game has been good lately? I can't think. Like I bought Guardians of the Galaxy thinking it was gonna be great. I
played it once. I was enjoyable, but it has no replay value whatsoever. And then it has nothing. It's like, okay, it's a cool soundtrack. It's missing something.
And then the Avengers, that was like.
Oh, I played it on the PC, and I played the first mission with the whole Kamala thing, and then I was just like, I don't like this, so I just stopped playing.
Right.
Does it get better?
I stopped playing it too after the bridge. Like that whole first.
That's exactly where I stopped.
It felt so generic too.
I was like, oh, that's a thing.
To be fair though, like the characters are deliberately made not to look like the movie ones. However, all of the armor and like the
aesthetic
look is from the movies, and it feels generic.
It feels like you're going to Disney California and like, oh look, there's Thor, but it's like you saw him backstage and he's like nothing like Thor.
He's backstage having a drag.
Yeah. Hey man, you got any schwa?
What's the schwa?
No, that's the whole thing. It's like he has his own like vocabulary. His own slang is like, you got some schwa? It's like, what the
okay, what? We got to make that a thing.
The schwa?
We got to make that a thing. Schwa.
I think that's his version of shawarma. Schwa. You want some schwa? I don't know.
Oh man, you got to copyright that. That's good stuff.
Speaking of which, you're going to Disneyland today.
Yeah,
I hate this kid, man. He's always at Disneyland.
How are you getting to Disneyland?
Well, his grandma has an annual pass, and then his biological got him a pass. Okay. So like no one else in the family has one, so it's like every chance he gets, it's like, see ya.
Nice.
And he just leaves it at home.
So I have a pass, and I was supposed to go last night. I was supposed to go last night. I mentioned this to you earlier. And so my friend Lewis and Nicole were there all day, but they got tired and it got cold, right? Because remember, it's been raining this whole week, so it's been really cold. And so they went home. And I wasn't going to go until after work.
Lewis, I saw your story. I did see that you were there.
Yeah,
bastard.
But then my friend Jen and Erica were going to go, and like up until maybe around close to like 5:30, I still had every intention of going, but dude, like I don't know, it was cold, I was tired. Yesterday was such a drag. Like my job, like emotionally this week has been really sucking the life out of me. You know, there's like some issues with some students that where normally I feel like I have the patience and I'm like girded for it, like I'm like prepared for it, but I don't know, this week has not been it.
Yeah.
And so yesterday on Friday was just one of those days where, dude, I felt defeated. I felt like sad, man. That's a theme. Let's call this episode like sad. I don't know. I'm kidding.
Enter the sad man.
The sad
man. Yeah. Sad man. Ah! No, something else.
But I mean, well, I was gonna get to it. What happened was, I got home. I kept my shoes on. I kept my sweater on. I went under the covers, dude. And Erica texted me. She's like, are you gonna go? And I'm like, no, I'm too cold. I'm too tired. I'm just gonna stay home. And that was it. That's all. So I'm gonna call him after the show and apologize. I wasn't feeling it, man.
Nah, it's understandable. I get like that, you know that. But and then my wife has been a little down too. I mean, I have too. Has all the things with the government stuff affected you guys yet?
Not yet. But it hasn't hit our doorstep yet. But I mean, potentially it could. The big question is, when they shut down, if they shut down, I mean, most likely they will shut down the Department of Education. I mean, legally they can't, but dude, everything right now the biggest problem in our government is that you have a large administration who is not afraid to do things that are illegal and fight it out in court in order to get power.
They even gloat about it.
Exactly, and I mean, essentially, it's a coup. It's a coup in every way. And we're seeing it, and it's a slow-moving one, and it's not too different from 1933 and the post-beer hall push that Hitler did, where essentially the only reason, dude, there's a theory that goes, the beer hall push that Hitler had, it was all relegated into this little town where he started basically a January 6th kind of riot, where they were going to take over government. It was stopped. They put him in jail, but the problem was because he'd never left the city. His sentence was less. It was like a year or something. And once he came out, he, instead of doing it through riots, he did it legally. He went through the political system. And that's right now what friggin' Trump is doing.
Yeah.
He has all the right people in different parts of the branches of government, and they're essentially giving them a lot of power, enough so that he can do these things illegally and give it time so that they can find a loophole. And before you know it, it's going to be too late. I mean, I know we're only like less than 100 days into his administration, but it feels like so eminent.
Right.
And anyways, but back to Department of Education, special education. There's these two particular laws. One of them is called IDEA, and then the other one is called oh gosh, right now my brain is a little dead on it. Well, let's just stick with IDEA. The IDEA was a hard-fought, hard-built system of legal procedures that made it so that students who don't have access to regular education are entitled to it. Basically, because we provide a free education to American students, you have to provide them to all. It has to be equal. And now, equal is not meaning the same, because that's impossible, right?
Right.
There's going to be some kids who need more help in math, more help in science, more help in PE than others. So really, you cannot provide the same, but you have to give them the very best approximation of it. That's where special education thrives in. What it does is it allows for recommendations, for strategies, for accommodations, modifications, and they put it in legal bindings that the schools need to provide it, and the funding needs to be found or built around it.
Right.
Okay. It's not a perfect system, but it has helped, because once upon a time, and this isn't that long ago, we're talking 70s, kids were largely segregated. They were not given the supports they needed. One of the major laws that was challenged was in the 70s. Is I want to say it was this girl who needed to have like intravenous like procedures done within the school boundaries because she wouldn't be able to access education without it. And the school say, no, we can't do it, so we're not going to. And so essentially she was out of school for 2 years while they fought it out in court. Once the court decided that it did, and it went all the way up to the Supreme Court, once it was decided, it became part of IDEA. And little by little, other challenges happened. Now, if currently they're trying to get rid of Department of Education, who largely manages it.
Now, let me ask you. Yeah.
Well, let me just say this. Linda McMahon says, "Oh, well, we're going to move it to a different, like maybe like the health, like the I forget what the health department is called, and they're gonna want to move into these different places. But dude, those places can't manage their own things. How are they gonna manage the educational system, or at least those access to it? I just don't see it."
Now, let me ask you this. Educate me a little bit. What exactly does the Department of Education do themselves? Like, and what are the pros and cons of getting rid of the Department of Education? Like what would happen if we get rid of it, and what does that mean? That like each state is going to be in charge of its own education? If that's the case, Alabama, I'm sorry, you're screwed. But or Mississippi as well. But like, what exactly are we here to lose?
Well, okay. So as I understand it, the Department of Education just makes it so that the funding goes into the right places, right? I mean, still the states are responsible for the individualization of it. So, for example, the LAUSD, the Unified LA Los Angeles Unified School District, will get their funding from California, the state government, but the federal government will send in funds. That's really it, right? So when they say, "Oh, let's kick it back to the states," well, the states are pretty largely doing it. What the federal government does, what the Department of Education does, is that it makes sure that the monies go in there, go to the states. It makes sure that the laws are being followed, and then
standards being met.
Standards are being met, but it's each individual state that manages those standards. So it's the reason why you have like California having their own California state standards. You have, Colorado having their own state standards, and Florida. So you're not fixing that. Like that's not being fixed. What's going to end up happening is, what could potentially happen is, if they wanted to do, if like, for example, I don't know, Texas wanted to start teaching like Christian history, which and basically saying that the evolution theory doesn't exist, that it was God on the seventh day making the world. Then they can largely do it. They can pass out a textbook, which is the Bible, and they'll be able to do it. Now on a federal level, because there is a separation between education, or rather, between
church
religion, church and state. It's illegal to do that. That's one of the bigger issues. As far as the cons, what it seems like it's going to be funding, dude. Like it just comes down to money. Money will not be provided by the federal government efficiently, and the states will have to fight for more funding. That's really what it comes down to. And
they can probably politicize that and be like, okay, California, you don't like Trump, so we're not going to give you this much money.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, here's the thing, though. California is a big economy. So it's going to be interesting to see how that works out. I think what will happen is California's money will stay within the state instead of being taken out into the federal government, which gets redistributed. I mean, that's kind of what's understood, is that a lot of California's taxes get redistributed outside of our state. I mean, not all of it, but there is a percentage. So other like lower producing states rely on federal funds that come from larger states that fund it. I mean, but that's how it should be. Yeah. We're the United States of America. We're not like, the Lone Star state like Texas, who wants to believe they're on their own. I mean, it's
deep in the heart of Texas. Sorry.
So yeah, I mean, that's kind of the basic of it, man. I mean, it's a lot more intricate than that for sure, but
jeez, that sucks though. I mean, I don't know. They politicize everything. FAA, planes crashing every day. There was another plane crash, or there was another airplane that caught on fire on the tarmac. I don't know. It's scary times, dude. Like we said last time, it's the community reference. What was it? The dark timeline. That's where we're at right now.
We're in the darkest timeline.
Yeah. Sorry, monkey. The world's a mess. That's where we leave you. See, my generation didn't do anything. The generation before us, they're mad that everything's changing. They're yelling at the clouds, and they're screwing up the whole world and its entitlement and all that crap that they're doing. You have to fix it.
We're too busy feeling sad, like to Smashing Pumpkins and
We're listening to every REM's "Everybody Hurts" on repeat.
yeah, thinking they were like rocking the vote and
Everybody hurts, and then you guys have to fix it.
yeah. But you guys are doing it to the soundtrack of Nicki Minaj
And WAP,
and and whatever other crap is.
other crap. Wow. Okay. Anyway, no, that's good stuff. I guess changes.
Yeah.
Anyway, Blah. Man, way to bring down the podcast, huh?
Right. Well, I mean, we were going to talk about UFOs, so let's
Cheers
bring
to
it up.
death.
Yeah.
Cheers to death. Hey. Whatever.
You know, the rule is you clink, you drink, right? Guys, you got to follow this. Send it out to the world. The idea is this: if you're at a bar and you have like a drink in front of you, and this is what me and my friends do, we have this rule: like you clink, you drink. But that also means that like, and this one doesn't count, so you don't have to drink. But you like, if your friend's there and you want him, you can go, hey, cheers. You just clink his drink. He has to take a sip. The idea is that once you clink, you have to sip your drink. You don't have to chug it or nothing. You just have to.
By the way, your
Take
take
a
came off.
Oh, it's supposed to.
Oh, because you wash it.
Yeah, exactly. Because you don't want. Yeah, same thing on this one. Look, I can screw this one off, and the inside container comes off, and that way you can wash it safe. It'd be machine because you don't want.
That is smart.
You don't want to put this beautiful thing through like a machine wash.
It's also microwave safe. And I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Imagine.
Oh, dude, I would not put this in the microwave.
There, like years ago, like back in, I want to say 99. I guess my mom, they got her some like Christmas, like a red and a green coffee mugs, but they're the ones that had like the foil covering. That's like that foil metal. You know, make it look like an ornament, right?
I sense a light show happened.
My sweet, naive mother, not realizing she's just going through the motions, she likes hot chocolate. So she liked the Mexican hot chocolate. So she poured it in there, puts it in the micro, and it looked like you know, Terminator T-100 coming through the time the time portal.
So when you open it, there's a little naked Arnold Schwarzenegger there, like like in the superhero pose, just like getting up
slowly. Dude, it was the funniest thing. You could just see all like little lightning bolts just going around the whole mug, and then little lightning cracks on the tin foil on the mug just appearing. And I'm like, what are you thinking? She wasn't thinking, obviously.
Oh man.
I mean, it happens to us. Sometimes we're going through the motions, we go in automatic, and then you just put things in and you don't even think about it. You're just doing like, oh crap, when you actually realize what's happening. But I always remember that. That was fucking hilarious.
Speaking of like Mexican chocolate, okay, so did you grow up drinking like abuelitas?
No, there was another one. Ray Charles or King Carlos or something.
Yeah, the King Carlos. Yeah, okay. So I grew up drinking abuelitas.
We had it too, but not often.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but abuelitas wasn't always owned by Nestle.
No, it was
now.
not. It is now, you know, by that evil corporation. But before it was not.
And then there's the one that's currently available. What's the other one that's on the market? Because there's another one that's on the market that is actually from Mexico City. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because I was talking to a friend who just straight up told me like was we didn't know Ibarra, right? Okay, so she didn't know like any of this, but she goes, "Oh man, like you know, I only drink abuelitas. That's the authentic. That's the one that like I can't drink that Ibarra. It doesn't taste good." And I told her, I go, you know that abuelitas is like made by Nestle, right?
Okay.
She's like, oh no, I didn't know that. I go, yeah, and Ibarra actually comes from Mexico. So, you know, you're supporting a product. You know, if you want Mexican hot chocolate,
it's Ibarra.
You don't want to get like abuelitas because it's not Mexican. It's not even made in Mexico City. No. It's made like here in America.
Malaysia.
Probably.
No, I don't know. I'm just judging by how fucking shitty. Sorry, beep beep.
That's your third one, bro. Next one, I'm gonna put a swear jar right here.
It's gonna get filled up fast.
Oh yeah.
They always do like terrible things just to break law, for the bottom dollar. Mm. Like the whole stealing water rights from certain countries.
Okay.
That's one. But yeah, I bet you that hot chocolate stuff is like, if you look into it, there might be like a whole story behind it.
I'm down. Let's do it. Let's do it. So, yeah, so I educated her, and I don't think I changed her mind, but at least now she knows she's like betraying our people.
Every single time she takes a sip, she'll probably think of you, and she'll be like, "It's good and authentic."
Dude, remember that from in Living Color? Hated it.
Yeah. They were the best. Do you think they were able to make Living Color now? No, huh?
Ah, dude, but I wish they would bring that show back.
It'd be hilarious. But no, there's so many shows that I look back and I'm like, yeah,
Martin
that
Greer,
wouldn't fly.
Martin Greer, and Damon Wayans, and
No, David Allen Greer.
David Allen Greer. Thank you. You see, you know, I suck at
Martin
names.
Greer.
I suck at names.
Martin Greer's his brother.
He's
No,
like,
I don't
that's
know.
not even a real guy, is it?
No, not really. You would be closer if you said Pam Greer.
Well, okay, that's true. Yeah, they had to bring that back.
Yeah, no, there's a lot. Oh, you know what show that I was watching that I'm like, oh God, this is terrible. Back in the 80s, I correct me if I'm wrong, guys. You know, info@outcast.com right here.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, right there. There was a show that ABC or CBS, one of the two networks, tried to compete against Saturday Night Live in the mid 80s, early 80s.
Okay.
It was called Fridays. Okay.
I never heard of
It's
this.
currently on Amazon Prime. I was watching the first episode. I couldn't get through it. I'm going to. There's only like 6 episodes because they got canceled super fast. All right. Its biggest claim to fame is Andy Kaufman came on after he got voted off of Saturday Night Live. Remember that he got voted
that whole
off?
shtick, yeah.
Yeah. Its claim to fame is he did this thing where he faked a fight with one of the producers on the show. It was a skit. It was like this weird experimental thing that no one was in on it. And that's its claim to fame. The other one is that that's where Cosmo Kramer comes from Seinfeld. Michael Richardson.
No
Michael
way.
Richardson? That's where he's from. He's actually the first skit on Fridays. He's one of the main cast members. So
I gotta watch it. I'm gonna watch it.
the only part that made me laugh, and the rest I couldn't finish, was the opening scene with a cold open, which we got to bring our cold opens back. We got to figure that out. The only thing that made me laugh as a cold open is there's a table and there's 2 producers and they're sitting there giving the pep talk to the crew or the cast, and they're saying like, look, I know we're a variety show, a late night variety show that's just premiering, that we do sketch comedy and music, and we're going to get a lot of competition, a lot of comparisons to Saturday Night Live. And it's not the case. You know, we're different. We're not going to do the same thing as them. And as the camera pans to the side, all the cast members are dressed up as famous Saturday Night Live characters, like a Bumblebee, Rosanna Dana, and they're all dressed like, you know, like parodies of the Saturday Night. I thought that was a very clever way of introducing them, but then they killed it with another, like they put credits in front, like subtitles, and like going up and like over explaining the joke, and that kind of killed it for me, and I kind of lost interest. And then the first skit was Cosmo Kramer, which I always forget his name, who's like, oh, and now a message from one of our cast members, and he comes out, live studio audience, and he's just sitting there going, like he doesn't know what to say, and it goes on a little too long.
What?
And I'm like,
That sounds so cringy, man.
and you know that the laughter button is like, guys pressing the laughter button over a hall, like just laugh, and people are like, ah, like that, like you know, that soft, like we gotta laugh because we're told kind of thing.
That's so bad.
And I'm like, okay, they're losing me already. Then the next skit was something about some girl introducing her boyfriend to the parents, and he's some weird hunchback that for some odd reason goes a lot, and it's just, and that thing went on and on and on, and at that point I'm like, I gotta go do something more interesting, like watching grass grow, because it was just bad. Like I couldn't finish it, and I'm like, how the hell I could see why I got canceled after 6 episodes. I really can. It was terrible. But I'm like, how the hell is this considered comedy? And people were laughing at some of this stuff. And anyways, that's the newest thing that I watched that I was like, ugh.
Yeah. So speaking of things that I've watched, I love medical dramas, but I don't watch them as much as like I remember watching Grey's Anatomy, like the first 6-7 seasons, and just really digging it. And then it became too much about the relationships. I mean, the relationships were always a factor in the show, but it just got worse and worse. And truly, that show is like, you know, is one where they went a little too far in sort of like the overrepresentation of certain things. I love representation on some level when it's natural. We've had these discussions on there before. I think that characters that are part of the LGBTQI community are fine, but it needs to feel real and natural, and not and not like if it's like shoehorned in and
Forced.
Yeah, and Grey's Anatomy felt that way to the detriment of the overall show. But dude, a show that's run that long, of course, it's just going to get long in the tooth anyway. So I'm not going to give it too much guff.
Plus, you change showrunners, you change executive producers, you get notes from the network that tell you, oh, this week we are peddling this message or we're peddling this product. You got to shoehorn it in. So it's going to happen.
Right.
I mean,
So I was watching right now on Max, there's this one called The Pit, and it's really good, dude.
What's The Pit? The Pit.
Well, so basically it's a ER room drama, and I think the main premise is that the whole season takes place over the day, and each episode it represents an hour of that shift. So it's all like being done and not necessarily in real time, but it's because there's still multi cameras and stuff like that. But that whole hour is represented within that episode, and so right now, it's still I forget, is it like 9th or 10th episode in, and so right now we're like I think we're like about 9 or 8 hours into a shift, and all the dramas that kind of revolve around it. So you have like three student doctors. You have a few like the I guess what do you call them, the ones that are
the residents,
thank you. And then of course you have the main guy who is running the floor, and so it's essentially about him trying to manage a ER that's underfunded, and it's overcrowded, and just everything, like the chaos around it. And so there's every now and then you break out to the perspective of a guy who's sitting out in the waiting room or whatever, waiting for his turn, and he's getting madder and madder, and up until I think like 2 episodes ago, he assaulted a nurse because of it, and so that story's kind of playing out. But all the meanwhile, you get to see what's happening on the other side. You get to see like how every 20 minutes a new emergency happens, and it's the reason why it ends up taking like 5-6 hours for people to be seen, because other things become more eminent. People literally coming in with like their skin burning off or whatever, and it's intense. But I love that sort of thing. It's a great show.
You should check out on NBC or Peacock. You should check out Brilliant Minds, I think it's called, or Brilliant Mind. It's what's his name, Dr. Sam Wolf or something, played by Zachary Quinto from Heroes.
Yeah, that's on my radar. Yeah.
It's do you remember watching a old movie with, I think it's Robert De Niro and I think Robert Williams, called Awakening?
Yes. It's
based on that doctor. It's his story. They basically took those old medical files, medical cases, and just made them modernized into these times, and then it's just retelling all those cases.
Okay.
So all these cases actually happen, of course, dramatized for television, and of course with a little wink wink, but it's basically the medical journal cases of, I think his name was Dr. Sam Wolf. I'm maybe totally wrong, but It's actually a very fun show to watch. Me and my wife watch it, and we haven't watched it in a while because we got stuck on Traders. That show is freaking sick, man.
Traders?
Mm-hmm.
What's that about?
It's a reality TV show. It's a contest. It's based on I think it's the original is from New Zealand or something, but they have one here in the States and they have one in the UK and Australia, like around the world. And we watched the UK one and the American one because it's the same production company. And she likes the American one. She watches it because there's a lot of reality TV stars in it. Essentially, she's big on reality TV. And I started watching it because it's a very great premise. They go to this Scottish castle in the American version, and in the UK version, same castle. And in the American version, it's Alan Cummings, the actor.
Yeah, I love him.
Yeah, he's the host, and he's like, supposedly this is his castle, and he comes out with like these big, over exaggerated, great costumes, and he's like, welcome to the castle. And we're here for murder. and what it is,
Dude, Alan Cummings is the best for that, dude. He's such a ham. When
he hams it so well. Dude. I love him.
Remember when he came out in X-Men as Nightcrawler, and I wish they would have.
He was the perfect Nightcrawler.
But what happened? Why did they take him out? Like there was some drama, right? He wanted more, or something happened there. He didn't get along with
Brett Ratner. Didn't like him.
Excuse my language, but Brett Ratner, that guy pisses me off. I'm sorry. Beep beep. Apologies. Brett Ratner, dude, like, oh man, that guy.
Don't get me started on Brett Ratner, but we'll do a deep dive on thumbs again sometime.
Yeah, was he responsible? No, it was Bryan Singer who was responsible for the Superman Returns, right?
Yeah, Bryan Singer was Superman Returns.
Okay, I have a whole other beef with that guy because of that.
We should do a Superman deep dive because of that.
Oh yeah, let's do it. Let's put that on the Miro board.
We'll put on that.
But okay, so back to Alan Cummings, and dude, Alan Cummings.
Sometimes
dude, do you remember? He did Cabaret. He did the revival.
Yes.
Dude, loved him in that, dude. The whole opening song, "Willkommen, Vanvenue." Welcome.
He's been some of the great.
Ranger.
He's been on some of the greatest
So
things
sweet,
that I love.
enchanté.
Josie and the Pussycats.
Oh right, yes, he was great in that.
Josie
and the Pussycats is like
it's underrated, man. That movie, the music, everything about it, the storyline, everything about that movie is perfection. Don't get me started on that, man.
Okay, you know what though? I'm also gonna add something to the mix on around the same era. Dude, Spice World.
Yes,
Spice World was a good movie. Go back and watch it. Trust me, without all of like the baggage of the time, it's a pretty damn funny movie.
No, I just love
the music was great.
I love the fact they go in the bus and the bus is like over like a TARDIS. It's like bigger on the inside.
Yeah,
that is. I love that. But you made my wife very happy because she's a big Spice Girl fan and she loves Spice World.
I love that movie.
What's the connection with Dune? I don't know. But anyway,
there's a connection to Dune, and you need to connect the dots for me on that one.
It's a Spice World.
Okay. So it's a play on words. Dang, my dad joke. Card needs to be turned in because I'm all about the puns. I missed that one. Well done, sir.
Yeah.
I shake your hand heartily. Hello.
Anyway, yeah, no, you made her really happy with that one. But yeah, no, Spice World is great. But like those kind of movies, they need to make more of those kind of movies, man. He was also in Flintstones live action movie. He was the Great Gazoo.
Great movie. He was
a great Gazoo. Those are cheesy. I love cheesy movies when they know they're cheesy and they play into it. Scooby-Doo movies.
Yeah, great Flintstone is cut off the same stone as Scooby-Doo and also
Josie and the Pussycats.
Josie and the Pussycats, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, what
are those? Hanna-Barbera, now that I think about it, isn't it?
Yeah. Dude, there's another movie that I was thinking that also was, the Brady Bunch movie.
I love that. I love how the sequel, they connected to Gilligan's Island.
Yes.
Dude, that...
Genius. Chef's kiss. Good stuff.
French kiss.
Dude, French kiss.
Alan Cummings. Anyway, okay, so back to Traders real quick. So Traders is basically you get these contestants. I think it's like 20 of them or something. You get them in this castle, and they're basically playing Clue, where one of them is a murderer. Actually, there's a group of, they call them traders, and the whole spiel is they have to do these challenges to gain money, and they put it in a pot. And then at the end, if they win, they get to split the money between themselves.
Okay.
But the catch is there's a traders. They don't know if it's one. They don't know how many traders there are who are every night killing off one of the members. And then every night they have to meet at a round table and try to show the evidence to try to catch who the traitor is. So then they get to vote to who is the traitor. Okay. And they banish them. Then when you're banished, you tell them you're a traitor or you're faithful. So it's a fun show because you get to see who the traitors are. You get to see them choose who they're going to kill. You get to see them play mind games with everybody. And it doesn't sound like, oh my God, but when you watch it, you're like, oh my God.
Is Pikachu violating Pikachu?
Pikachu is Pika.
Pika. So I heard everything you were saying, but I was slowly realizing that behind our like cast of characters here, Pikachu is he's being naughty.
He's revolting. Get it? Revolting? No. I'm just going to... Cheers.
Okay, that was That was bad. All right, so, anyways, dude, just I'm sorry. I can't. You broke my brain right now, guy. You broke it. It's broken. It's done.
Sorry.
All right. So, to things that I'm watching, dude. Have you heard of a movie called Chunking Express?
No, I have not.
Okay. So, the director, like Quentin Tarantino, he talked a lot about him, and that's kind of what really got me interested in this guy. He's known for a bunch of movies, but Chunking Express was kind of a movie he made while he was waiting to get the money for a bigger movie that he had filmed but had to pause. And so the director's called Wong Kar-wai, and I believe he's Taiwanese. And the movie, dude, is basically it's two vignettes, but they all centered around this little food stand called Chungking Express, and basically it's like two different love stories told from two different perspectives of two different characters who never ever meet up. And the most standout thing, if you watch the trailer, is they use that song from the Cranberries.
Linger?
No, the other one.
Zombie?
No, the other one. The very upbeat one. Na na na. Da, 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 da.
Yeah, I know.
Da, da, da,
Okay, yeah.
right.
Whatever,
Okay,
yeah.
I forget the stupid song, but anyways, that
But
song
we're not going to play it.
we're not
We're
gonna
not going to play it.
And so that song is part of the trailer, but it's sung in the language of the
Taiwanese.
movie, and for some reason that just stands out so much. But I highly recommend this movie, dude. It's such a weird. I don't want to give away too much, other than to say that. One love story is told from the perspective of a guy, and ultimately at the end you just wonder, like, did he really truly love who he talked about? And the clues of that is you never really get to see his like who this person is, and you don't really get to see the conclusion of that particular story, or at
Right.
least that particular that longing. And in fact, he ends up with somebody else who at the end you sort of wonder, like, is this guy truly love anybody? And it's more about the experience. While the second story, which is the girl that's on the cover of the movie, she falls in love with another guy, and you get to see that guy's previous relationship in flashbacks, which you didn't in the first one, which gives you a clue of how more real the second story is meant to be. It's very satisfying. It's there's something kind of like sad about it, but also, I don't know, uplifting. It's a good movie, man. I highly recommend it.
And that's playing on what, Max?
Yeah. And actually, a few of his other movies are on Max. Like
Cool.
In the Mood for Love, I think is the other one. And dude, he does some really great action movies. So I highly recommend him. The director, again, his name is Wong Kar-wai. I highly recommend him.
Okay. There you go. Max. Everyone.
Yeah, Chunking Express.
So just to recap, Fridays is on Amazon Prime. Chunking Express is on Max.
And Invincible's on
Amazon Prime.
Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
Oh, and The Pit, it's on Max.
And Traders is on Peacock.
There you go.
Dang, look at all the information we're giving out.
What do you know? We can be informative.
Sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
So did you get any feedback on the on our video format?
I have not, actually. I don't think people are watching us.
No, actually we are. We're getting,
really?
we're getting watched a lot more.
Dude, fill me in, man.
In the first day we got quite a bit. I mean, it's tracking more than our other YouTube that we had up, because the original YouTube, for those of you that actually watch or actually subscribe, we don't have much subscribers, but it was just basically like a MIDI player, and it had our logo and it said the episode, and then it would just show the things before. Like there was no visuals. It was just, that's what was on YouTube before.
All right.
Now, of course, with this being the third episode, there's 2 already, and there's been some traction. It's actually gotten some more views. The only thing is, I don't like that, since they're not going to through the podcast route, it's more YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
It's splitting our viewership or downloads.
Mm-hmm.
So our downloads are actually a little affected by the video. The video's getting more popular. So
I mean, I think that was expected.
Yeah.
You know what's interesting about being on YouTube is I can actually say description down in the doobly-doo. I always wanted to say that and then point down, and now you know where I'm pointing down to. That's kind of cool.
and I'm gonna say, don't forget to subscribe
And like.
and like. Okay?
Please
No.
do us a favor.
No, I'm not
It'd
doing
really
that.
help us out.
I'm not doing that crap.
I know I am. I don't mind whoring myself out, man. I mean, look, I'm literally wearing like a king sweater because I'm.
Well, I'm wearing myself out, but for us,
Oh,
Ouchcast.
actually, that is. I need to get one of those.
Yeah, I gotta get you one.
Yeah. No, just send me a link. I'll buy one.
Oh, well, I made it, but okay.
That's why. Send me a link. Where you
Look, check it out. So I got 2 more. Shall we do it again?
Yeah, well, let's do it. Let's open. So, remind me, where do you get these from?
7-Eleven, where we get our monsters this morning. They have a few of them. They had a Dragon Ball Z one, but they don't have them now.
Yeah.
So I got these because I thought they were kind of cool.
Yeah, what I really like. Do you still have that little miniature, arcade in your house?
Yeah, I still have. I put it away though. I don't have it right now, but I have on my computer. I do have the little mini Pac-Man, Miss Pac-Man, and I forgot what else I have. And then I have some.
Dude, I have like all this cool stuff that I cannot display because I don't have the room for it at my house.
Same here. I have it all
Including
put
like
away.
some arcade stuff. I have like I have the Sega. Did you know how they released a recreation of their
The miniatures?
Yeah, of their arcades. So I have that.
Look at that.
What is that?
It's like a random little guy, but I just got.
He looks like
kinda
he's like. It looks like he's doing Gangnam Style.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna put him on the. I'm gonna put him on the side like that. I have these on my TV, so I'm gonna put these on the TV.
Okay, here you go. And it's Purple Mario, dude. And he's got a badunk. Look at that, man. He's cheeked up. He's double cheeked up. Look at that.
They both are like.
Yeah, that's some nasty.
Wiggle,
business.
wiggle.
Here, I'm gonna put him
wiggle.
right there so that you guys can like just zoom in on his butt when you guys want to. I don't know, right there. There you go. Zoom in.
Yeah, put him on that stripper stage. That Vegas stripper stage, dude.
Somebody come get her. He's dancing like a stripper.
Anyways, that was fun.
Yeah. Okay. So, sure it was. I don't know. So, right now, dude, I'm like super excited about The Last of Us season 2.
Oh, that's starting, huh?
Yeah. Yep.
When does that start? This month or next month?
Next month, April.
April, huh?
I think April 6th or something. So it's like right around the corner.
Yeah, we're gonna
I haven't
watch that.
binged the first season yet, so I'm going to start doing that probably tonight because I got nothing to do today. So I'm going to do like.
We watched it. Isaac, me, and Michael, my 10-year-old.
Yeah.
We sat through the whole season. We would watch it together, all of us.
Yeah, and let me ask you this: Did you watch? Or did you play the first game?
I haven't finished it, but yeah, I have played it.
So
I think
you
I'm
haven't
almost done.
You haven't played the second game then?
No.
Okay, and
Michael has. I haven't played none of it. To be
Yeah, but
honest,
Michael skipped the first game too.
Yeah, he
didn't
played
even-
some of it. And then Michael has the habit where like I got them a PS5 last Christmas, I think, and they have Last of Us 1 and 2, and they have like Spider-Man, like all 3 games, Miles Morales, Spider-Man 2, and the original. And my 10-year-old, he has the habit of jumping ahead. Like he'll play a little bit of one game. Okay, I'm done. Moving on to the next one.
okay.
So he did that with Last of Us 2.
So what I want to do is, as the show's going on, and every time we record the show, I would love to recap like an episode. I really love this show. And I'm going to want to talk about it. So just be prepared for that. Even if it's like a 5-minute, like really quick thing that we'll do on every.
That's fine.
Because I love this show. But the reason I ask you guys if you guys played it because the first game was amazing. I mean, for me, it was like, dude, I remember the day that weekend that I played it. It was a weekend in which my friend Lewis and Nicole, it's around the time they first started really started their relationship. And so I didn't want to be a third wheel. And on one particular day, it was a weekend. Our routine was we would go out like every Thursday, sometimes Fridays, and for sure every Saturdays to this karaoke bar. We'd hang out with friends there. And this particular Saturday, I decided to stay home. And I didn't have a lot of money, so I went to Redbox to rent the game.
R.I.P. Redbox.
R.I.P. Redbox. I bought myself a 6-pack of Rolling Rock because it was inexpensive. No, actually a 12-pack.
Hey,
of
no,
Rolling Rock.
why am I laughing? Rolling Rock is good.
Yeah, right. And so I got myself a 12-pack. I remember buying like some junk food, dude, and I played that game, dude, and it was incredible. Like I stayed the whole day, the whole night, just rocking that game, dude. It was such a great experience. Right to the end, dude, just like sad. I don't know. It was just such a satisfying game.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. The reason I ask if you guys play the second one is because the second one's obviously controversial. I ain't going to give anything away.
I know some of it already. Yeah.
But I ain't going to give it away. But I think it's important that you play the game to really, truly have an opinion of it. Because I mean, the consensus at the time, people were pissed at the second game. They hated what happened to some characters. They hated the story arc between 2 other characters. And I felt like it was the perfect sequel. I felt like what happened to one character was natural, and it was a consequence, and it was perfectly explained. And while emotionally it was devastating, I was happy to feel that so that the two other characters who were going through their journey felt more impactful. Like you were really invested in it. And when they switched perspectives, I was okay with that too. I love that, and people hated that. I remember all the reviews at the time, and just people like bearing down on it. So I'm really excited to see how people are going to feel about this season if they even recreate a little bit of that. Dude, we're in for some amazing television, very polarizing, really intense.
Yeah,
I'm excited for it though.
I agree,
and I'm being purposely vague because I don't want to give anything away.
You have to for that one. I was going to say on the first season, I loved. Have you ever seen the comparisons they do with the framing of the first season with the video game?
No, I haven't.
Go back on YouTube. I know they're all over the place, but they'll put on the top, they'll put like the video game, the actual cinematics of the video game.
Okay.
And on the bottom, they'll put like the opening scenes of the episode 1. And they match them up pretty well. Like it's very well done. It's amazing. Like it really is. Because most video game based media, whatever it is, they take a lot of changes. They do a lot of changes where they either ruin it. I'm looking at you, Mortal Kombat, or they do something entirely different, which is okay, but it's still not the same. Resident Evil, or they just, crap the bed. Doom. But
okay, so I have a question about Doom. Have you watched Dune Prophecy?
There's a second one.
Well, okay, so you know how you have the movie
with
and then
Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were saying Dune. Apologies.
Doom.
Oh, Doom. Yeah, Doom
We're talking
sucked.
video games.
Dude, okay. So,
Dune Prophecy. Have not seen it. I love the first Dune, which I didn't finish, but I have it. I gave you the digital copy too.
yeah.
I have it in 3D. And then I have the second one.
I totally forgot you did that. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I have the second one, but I've never watched it because my wife and me were watching the first one. So we're like, oh, we'll come back and watch it. But we got stuck watching Traders, all this other stuff that's a lot like quicker to digest. And, as parent of 4 and one being a handful, we don't have a lot of time to ourselves. So we drop off the kids and I, right before I start working, I'm like, let's watch one episode of something because it's quick, easy, digestible, move on. Mm-hmm. We can't sit through a whole movie. And then if we do, my wife is always working and doing stuff that when her body stops, if it stops for too long, she shuts down and goes to sleep. Because, she's a mother 24/7.
Yeah.
So
it's not like you're diabetic comas.
You're the one who's with the popcorn salad.
Oh, dude, I know that. But you're the one who eats the popcorn at the movies and falls asleep and determines a movie being good based on whether you fell asleep or not.
But it's not because of the popcorn. It's because I'm like, get on with it.
You know what? I want to challenge that because you know what? I bet you.
We're going to the movies.
Yeah, we're going to movies, and you'll be like,
while you're fucking Ozempic up so you can have more popcorn salad. Drizzle some chocolate on those nuts. And I'm not talking about the popcorn. Oh, Jesus Christ.
That's Jesus Christ. That's
no. We were
nasty.
supposed to go see Exorcist. What was the name of that last Exorcist movie? The one we were going to go see with him.
I don't
remember.
And Godzilla,
but you remember that?
It just didn't happen.
Yeah, I remember we were gonna go see it. I just don't remember the name of it.
Yeah.
That's a shame. And I don't think I ever watched it.
I didn't either.
Yeah.
And it's on Peacock or something else, but I was just like, I'll come back to it. Like, I didn't hear much buzz about it.
Yeah.
And I was just like, forgot. Glam Vamp Brenda, she shout out.
Gotta bring her back.
Yeah,
I like that girl.
She's busy, but yeah, I gotta bring her back. But she sent me there's another horror movie. God dang it, I don't know where it's at, but I'll look it up again. But she sent me a little trailer for an upcoming horror movie by the guy who, that movie. What was the name of that movie that just came out by A24? The one about the hand, that haunted hand, the ceramic hand that you would hold and it would like take you over.
Oh, dude, I don't know.
No,
yeah. I don't think I watched that one.
No,
like I like to think that I watch all these horror movies, but dude, there's like a real
well, you know why though? You know why? Because in the film, the horror movies are the cheapest to make and the most profitable to make. So everyone that you ever think about who's a big director, most of the time, their first major movie is a small indie horror flick.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Eli Roth. That's why he made them how they are, because they were easier to make.
That's a guy that I don't hear much about anymore.
James Cameron. His first movie was one of the Piranha movie sequels.
Oh, right, yeah,
yeah. So because
the 3D one, wasn't it?
Yeah, Piranha 3D. You're right, the original 3D.
Yeah, we talked about that.
Yeah, all the big guys, they do their first horror movies. Well, even Steven Spielberg, Jaws. Come on.
Yeah, that is a horror movie.
So they do these because they're quick, easy popcorn movies.
Jaws wasn't easy.
No,
and
it was not.
And it
No,
was cheap. It wasn't cheap either.
It was it was the first blockbuster because of the fact that it was supposed to be cheap, but it didn't. It went tits up, and they had to spend so much trying to fix it.
Yeah.
That it became this beast. But on the whole, horror movies are the cheapest. I mean, the 50s, The Blob, Night of the Living Dead, the original was really cheap to make.
Yeah, well, the Terrifier movies, those must be very inexpensive.
Yeah,
But good horror movies, though, man. I mean, they're better when they have a budget, though, aren't they?
not necessarily, not all the time.
Because it's too much money than too many hands in the
Exactly.
In the pot. Okay.
When the studios get involved and you get notes, there's an issue.
Right.
You know, it's more when all the movies that are great, the horror movies, are the ones where the studio has no trust in the movies. They're like, let them do it. It's going to make us money. When they don't care,
Right.
that's when they, get best. But, I mean, not always. There's movies like Killer Condom.
What?
Killer Condom.
Yeah. You guys
Well,
never heard of Killer Condom?
have you seen the Bong movies on
The which
Tubi?
one?
Bong movies?
Yeah, I forgot. What they're
Oh, the
called
one
or
you told
something.
me about.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Oh, man.
There's like 8 or 9 movies of those.
Yeah, those are quick and easy. Those are.
It's like some evil
Condom
bong
movies,
or
quick and
something.
easy?
Yeah, it's like an evil bong. But the condom one is Killer Condoms is a movie from I want to say late 90s. It's one of those like Trauma Vision, kind of like Toxic Avenger and stuff.
Yeah.
And Attack of the Killer Tomatoes and stuff. Well, no, Attack of the Killer Tomatoes is even worse. But it basically was of this. So I'm not kidding you. It was a condom that would disguise itself as a condom, and it had teeth. So it would attack by sneaking into a bedroom, getting on the nightstand, and the guy would like slip it on and then snip. So it's a stupid thing. Like
We ain't gonna make it as a species.
or Attack of the Killer Donuts. That's another movie that's out there. There's
What
so
about the
many.
sharks in the corn?
Oh yeah.
What? Sharks in the corn.
we were. Was it Hulu?
It was Tubi, I think.
Was it Tubi? We were, again, we have the tradition that we like watching, well, we always watch horror movies, but we like watching horror movies like almost daily in October, kind of like a ramp up type.
Yeah, Renee from the Nerds podcast
Does something
that.
similar. Yeah, he does something similar.
And also for Christmas too.
Yeah. We kind of do the same thing, but like we get busy, but we try to do it, and we try to get some new ones, some classics and stuff like that. And we were going through it in October, and we found one where the cover was a cross between Jaws and Children of the Corn, and it was called like something like that, like Sharks in the
Sharks
Cornfield.
in the cornfield.
Yeah, something like that. We were like,
Sharks in the
what?
Oh, you keep on talking. 'Cause I need to see this for
Sharks in the
myself.
Cornfield. Yeah. And what was that one that you showed us, Pookie, or what was it?
Oh yeah, Pookie. That one was Hulu.
Hulu. That was Hulu. Pookie. Those movies I did not like. I did not enjoy those movies. But they were successful. They made a lot of money. There's a sequel, and I heard there's gonna be a new one.
Sharks.
And he's looking it up.
Oh man, this looks so bad.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what? Yeah, I'm gonna watch this. This is the guy's wearing like a baklava
Yeah.
or yeah, is that
No,
what-
baklava's the food.
No, I meant it. He's wearing a no. No, for real. This is so bad. Oh God. Yeah, dude. There's guys like dressed like mafia guys out in the field. Why are they there?
I have no idea.
You watch this thing.
Why is she taking off her clothes? No, we didn't.
You're gonna need.
A bigger boat. Watch. It's gonna say something like that.
You're gonna need. Come on. Say okay. So in the movie, man, you just got random people running through fields. You got these shots of people opening their mouths, and they're wearing like weird masks. You're gonna need a bigger field. Oh, there they are. There's the sharks in the. Oh, dude. The shot ends with like this.
Wait. Stephen Kang's. That's Stephen King. Stephen King.
It's made by Stephen Kang. We really need to figure out this video thing because you guys need to see. We need to do more of that. We need to put this up so you guys can see it. But oh man, so the last shot is basically like I guess you can say it's a silhouette shot of a helicopter, the cornfield on the bottom, and a great white flying out to like almost like it's jumping out of the water to attack the helicopter. Just insane. Wow. Like, do you remember like the insanity of Sharknado?
Yes.
I blame Sharknado for this one right here.
those movies were Asylum, right? All those movies were from Asylum Films.
I don't know, dude. I
told you about Asylum
I never
Films,
watched
right?
any of those
Yes,
Sharknado
yeah.
movies.
Yeah, Asylum Films, for those who don't know, are these movies that are made on the cheap here in the Valley, and they are all horror movies or sci-fi horror movies, and they're all usually crap like Sharknado, but there's sometimes some that they make to cash in on something else that's coming out. For instance,
Oh, the
when
mockbusters.
Mockbusters, yeah, Mockbusters. For instance, when Transformers, the first movie came out, they released Transmorphers. They also released when what is it? Battlefield, Battle
Yes,
for Los Angeles.
that's the one I was thinking about. Yeah,
They made their own Battle of LA or something like that.
yeah. It was
And-
literally called like Battle of L.A.
yeah, they made a bunch of different movies like that.
But speaking of which, dude, that battle, that what was it called again? The
Battle of Los Angeles.
the,
Battle for Los Angeles.
The
yeah.
actual one with what's his name from
Yeah, Two-Face.
Two-Face from the
No, I forget his name. Tom Eckert? No, I forget his name. But yeah.
dude, that movie was so good.
Yeah, I
That movie
enjoyed
was
it.
so good. And you know, for me, at the time, I was like heavily playing Halo.
Yeah.
And you can see that this movie was inspired by the
Halo.
Neil Blomkamp. You know how Neil Blom, the guy who did District 9, and he wanted to do a Halo series. And for a while, he directed a lot of the commercials for the Halo games.
Let me cut in right there.
Sure.
Did you just hear what was released yesterday about Neil?
No, what's up?
He is rebooting Starship Troopers.
Oh, yes.
Right?
Okay, put a pin on that one because I want to get back to that
Yeah,
one.
we'll
right
talk
now.
about that one right
So
now.
I'm thinking of like, I'm thinking of this Halo of the Halo stuff that he did though, and I remember how exciting that was. I don't know if you've ever watched this, but did you ever play any of the Halo games?
He's a
Yeah, I love Halo.
Have you
That's one
gone
of his
back
favorite.
and watched a lot of the old commercials that they did for all the different Halo games?
Not all of them.
But there's
I watched
some,
a
right?
few, yeah.
So Neil Blomkamp, the guy who did District 9, directed
Love that
a lot
movie.
of them. Right.
Chappie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
Great
directed
director.
a lot of these commercials in order to it was almost like a screen test for what he was going to do for the series because he was going to make the movie. That was originally the plan.
Yeah.
And dude, these commercials are amazing because it highlights the ODST. It looks like battlefield footage. So essentially bringing a lot of reality to the series. So much so, dude, like when you watch the Halo series that came out on Paramount Plus, I wanted it to be so much like that, and it wasn't. That it was such a disappointment.
That one was so boring.
It really
I'm
was.
I'm not a Halo fan, so I didn't follow. But he's a big Halo fan,
Dude,
and he
right
watched
here.
it and he was like terrible. But yeah, Neil is one of my favorite directors. Still is. I'm sad that he was not able to do the Halo one because I think that would have introduced me to Halo, and I would have been like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm sad that he was not able to do his Aliens. because
Halo is-
his Aliens would have been amazing.
Halo is one of those game series right now that have fallen so far into the dark. They've ruined that franchise so much right now that it's hard to imagine them rebuilding it. I hope they do. I want them to because I've not liked any of the mainstream games. I didn't like Infinite. I didn't like Halo 5. Dude, the last real good Halo game was The Fall of Reach. And Halo 4 was okay. It wasn't too bad, but it wasn't great. The Fall of Reach was probably the last good one, but it makes sense why, because that was done by Bungie. That was the last game that Bungie did, who
Yeah.
were the original makers of the Halo series.
Right.
So this is one of those series where I really wanted it to work. So when I watched the Battle for LA or whatever it's
Yeah,
called,
Battle for Los Angeles.
that movie, dude, I wanted it to be Halo, and it felt like the closest thing we were gonna get to Halo in terms of like that battlefield footage where you have this like you have an army like doing real like army tactics, fighting against like higher like
Technologically advanced.
yeah, technologically advanced species, and it felt like they're fighting street by street. It was so cool.
I
That was
think-
such a cool concept.
You know what's funny too? Like, okay, so when I heard the movie, they were making the movie, I thought it was actually going to be the event of the Battle for Los Angeles that happened in the 1940s. I thought it was going to be that.
Right.
And I was really excited. I was like, oh my God. Then I saw the trailer and I'm like, oh, this is going to be crap because it has nothing to do with it. It's blah, blah, blah. But I'm still going to watch it. I watched it and I'm like, this movie is so cool. It's a lot of fun. The action is really intense, but great. It's just, I mean, yeah, you got to stop and suspension of disbelief and all that, but it's still such a good movie.
But
it's better than fucking Insurrection, Independence Day Insurrection or whatever it was.
But you have to admit though that because it's really grounded though in real military tactics and visuals that, like, while yes there is there's a suspension of disbelief you have to have in order to believe that an alien species would fight like this conventionally with an army like on the ground, but they did a good job of kind of giving you those stakes and making you feel like that's really the case. So it felt like really intense. I really dug that. I believed in it. I bought into it, even to the very last end, like that last shot where they had to go back in, and that's where it ended. I really wanted more.
I wanted a sequel or a series or miniseries, something. But yeah.
But just really quickly to go back to Starship Troopers, I've been playing the Helldivers game a lot. That's kind of my relaxation game now. Like unlike other online games, I know that you were mentioning earlier off camera that you guys have been playing Minecraft, and I'd love to join you guys. For me, like right now, the only game that I play is Helldivers, mainly because it's so easy. I just turn on my PlayStation 5. I'm already in like my battleship lobby, and then I just find a group. I just join them, play, do literally 30-40 minutes, and I'm done. It's the easiest thing, where it's like Call of Duty, it feels too involved, or any of those other games just feel too involved. But I love that because that game feels like Starship Troopers, which is one of my all-time favorite movies.
I played the Call of Duty, the Modern Warfare 3. We bought that one, right?
I love that one.
That one's great. I love that one. But the Call of Duty Black Ops, what is it, 3 now? Came out? 6.
Which Modern Warfare? Like
Modern Warfare 3, the one that came out last year.
I haven't played it yet.
It was amazing.
Yeah?
It was so good.
I think I might go buy that now.
That one was perfect. The only problem I think is probably the maps. There's not much maps.
Yeah, well, they started doing like remixes, but even then, yeah, there's not enough maps on there. That's probably my main complaint. But the guns are perfectly calibrated.
The customization.
The customization is great. It's a great one. And then they came out Black Ops 6. And
everything just gets dumbed down a lot. What I do like about Black Ops 6 is the maps.
The maps, because of the old school Black Ops maps.
Now, here's the thing. I've only played the Call of Duty games for the single player missions, like for the campaign missions. I have not. It's been very difficult for me to get into the multiplayer aspect. I never really quite understood how to play it. And dude, I'm a guy who grew up playing like these online games, Battlefield 1942, Battlefield 2, Battlefield 1, all of these games, man. I played them all, and I love that. I always enjoyed that aspect of like large warfare, large group of people. But dude, I just cannot get into them. I feel like I feel like I've outgrown those, or maybe I just don't understand them. I feel like the old man and that, and I hate it because I want to play them.
The modern warfare single players are fun.
Yeah,
you feel like short. You're like they're short too, but
fun.
You feel like you're like an agent.
Yeah.
So I've played the first one. I've played the second one. Obviously, I played the original. The original ones that came out like in 2004 or 2005, whatever. I played those. When they started rebooting them, I played the first one and the second one. I have not played Modern Warfare 3, so I've not played the campaign, so I haven't finished it yet. So I'd like to go get it.
There's a great campaign on chapter on 3 where you're an agent that you have to go into this border town. Actually, go from Mexico to a border town, and you have to go through this like drug house.
Okay.
It's very well done, man. That thing,
and that's on 3.
That's on 3.
I'm there. I'm gonna go get this after this.
That is such a great one. And then there's another one where you're another, because it hops around from different characters. Another one, you're an agent in some ship containers, right? Was it? Was it a wharf or what is it? You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, I think
that one's good too. It really gets you into the game. I wish they had made that quality of graphics for the VR, the Meta. Mm-hmm. That would be amazing for me.
So here in the classroom, I have the Oculus. You can see it over there. I'm charging, and the one game that all the kids like to play is the Arizona Sunshine.
Oh yeah,
so I have the first one.
They remade it.
I heard, and so I kind of want to buy. Well, I haven't bought it yet, but I'd like to get the PlayStation 5, like the VR, because I hear that it's pretty good, even though like it's kind of like a dead technology now, isn't it?
Yeah, because it's not up to par with the new stuff. Like it's not, the MetaQuest 3 outperforms it.
So I want to get, so I don't know, should I get the MetaQuest 3 or should I, actually I probably going to have to get both, only because I think there's some things that are specifically
better for the PS5.
Yeah.
I heard the PS4 VR is really good. That's what I heard.
I have that one.
Yeah,
and it's great. Yeah,
I heard that one's great.
I have a lot of games for it, and I really enjoyed it.
And I heard a lot of people that I have asked, because I'm part of a community for the MetaQuest VR, because I'm a big VR 3D guy.
Really?
Yeah. So,
damn, dude, Angel, there's a whole life of you that I'm not part of. Let me in, baby. Let me in. I'm ready.
you're on my friends list on the MetaQuest, dude.
You know what? I'm going to get, well, okay. So my brother has the MetaQuest 3. So he has, that one. And dude, I think it was around Christmas time, they were doing a sale. Target had a sale where if you bought it, they'd give you like a gift card for $50 or something.
And Batman game, the new Arkham.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. And so I missed out on it. I'm going to pull the trigger on it.
I've been wanting to, but kids, expenses.
Sure.
So I haven't been able to get the new one. I already told the kids once I get the 3, they can have my 2.
Okay.
And then that way I'll have someone to play with at home. But you're on my friends list, so
once I get that, I'll jump on.
Yeah. Also, you should get the. It's worth it because it's only $8. The what is it? The Meta Plus or the Quest Plus or something like that. It's worth it because you get so many games for free that you can download. I have so many games that are just through there that I redeemed through there. Some of them are only temporary, like you could only play for like 1 or 2 months. But hey, man, a free game is a free game. It's like a rental, like a free rental.
Yeah.
And then some of them are just to keep. Arizona Sunshine, I played the first one because I got it for free through the MetaQuest. It was just temporary. Then they took it off, and now there's a remake which looks way better, but it's there. But I love that stuff. So from that community that I was in, to get back to my point, was there was a guy who's very vocal, and he said that he has both the PS5 VR and the PS4. And he said the PS4 just overperforms the PS5 in every fun factor.
That's interesting.
He
But
says-
only for fun factor. But in terms of
fun factor.
graphics, everything is obviously better than the other one.
He explained it like this. He said, he asked if I had a Switch, and I said yes. He goes, well, do you have the first one? And I'm like, yeah. And he said, okay, well, you know how the second one came out, the OLED? The OLED? It's like there's not much of a difference. It's not worth the upgrade, he said. It's like that.
Really?
So I was like, oh, it's kind of a bummer. And then I asked if for the MetaQuest, and he said he didn't have the new one, but some other guy tuned in, and then I started getting a bunch of replies. Everyone says the MetaQuest 3 overperforms and it's like outperforms the 2 by.
So there's a little
eons.
adapter that lets you play the PS4 one on the PS5. There's an adapter.
Really?
Yeah, there is. And so any PS4 VR games that are specific to PS4, you can play them on the PS5. So there's a
that's
little
cool.
adapter.
Then
there's
that's worth it then.
Initially, it was offered free through Sony.
Okay.
Now you can buy it for like $20-$30. I think maybe $50. I forget how much I paid for it because I had ordered a free one and it never came. There was some issue, but I had friends who ordered it and it came for them for free. I ended up buying it like on eBay or something, or I forget where, maybe even Amazon. But yeah, dude, it's available and you are able to play your PS4 VR on PS5. So that is possible, but obviously there's games specific to the PS5 that you will not be able to play on that, as I understand it. So you do have to upgrade.
Well, it's like the Meta, the same thing. There's some for the 3 that you cannot play on.
Now, for my Oculus, I have that one wire that lets you connect directly to the
USB-C
PC.
one?
But so I don't know if that like somehow lets you do it. I need to explore that.
I used to be able to, but they didn't upgrade it because I did it with my Asus Zephyr 14.
Okay.
I was able to connect and I was able to do not Minecraft. I didn't do the Minecraft, but I was going to. But I did Google Earth, and it's all in 3D, and you feel like you're a kaiju running through the city. It's really cool,
dude.
So I did that through my computer, but then they did an upgrade, and I guess the processor's so strong that it won't let me connect now unless I have a Ethernet cable connected to the computer. And of course, I don't have an Ethernet cable connected to the computer because my router's in the living room. My computer setup is in my bedroom, which is like across the hall on the other side.
Right.
So I don't have that, and I'm like, oh, that kind of sucks. Now I can't use that part. I've been wanting to take the laptop to the living room, connecting it so I can play more like Steam and like was it LA Noire on VR?
Oh wow, dude! I would love to play that.
I have that, and I have not been able to play it.
That is a game. LA Noire came out during the PS3 era.
Yeah.
So it's 15 years old.
Yeah.
Give or take. Still one of the most beautiful games ever made. The facial expressions, the character. It was proprietary technology. I think that's why Rockstar ended up buying
Team Bondi.
Yeah, in order to be able to acquire that technology.
But they never used it again.
They used it to some degree though for GT5 and for Red Dead Redemption, I think.
But it's not.
But it's not to the same high quality. I know that LA Noire like still stands up. It's a beautiful, beautiful looking game.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah,
it's gorgeous.
Dude, crazy, man.
Yeah, and then I just got a notification last night that Steam is having a sale on Fallout 4 VR for $29.
So you're gonna get on that. See, here's the thing. And maybe this is a separate topic, but there's this thing that happens in the video game world, and I'm sure it happens in movies, and I'm sure it happens like in computers, but where certain technologies never get revisited because they are owned by a company, and that company just never sends them out. For example, Nintendo owns a lot of different copyrights to certain gameplay mechanics that were amazing that no one gets to use. For example, there was a game that's called it's called Eternal Darkness, I think.
Eternal Darkness,
and it came out on the GameCube, and it had an insanity meter in which the more your character saw in terms of like weird stuff, the more intensely visual the game became. It was supposed to represent the cosmic horror that H.P. Lovecraft is known for, but in video game form. Because honestly, cosmic horror is you would think that cosmic horror would lend itself to visualization in movies. It's one of the hardest kind of horrors to really portray because there's a lot of it that has to happen in our imagination that makes that cosmic horror work. So reading H.P. Lovecraft is way more satisfying than watching movies that represent his stuff because it needs like a certain element that people are just not really able to capture. I feel like Guillermo del Toro was almost on the verge of it, and he wanted to make like In the Mountains of Madness. He never got to do it. I would have loved to have seen that movie. Well, anyways, Eternal Darkness does that insanity meters, and the game itself really does delve into the cosmic horror kind of aspect of H.P. Lovecraft. That technology that's used for that game, they own that. So when other games try to do something similar, Nintendo would sue them and they'd have to remove them. So even up to now, I think we're coming close to a time where they will be able to, because I think in video games that sort of technology is only you can only own it for like 20 years or something like that, and then it has to be released to some degree. But as of right now, that's the reason why Eternal Darkness is one of those games, one that hasn't been revisited, hasn't been remastered, because I think that if it does. If it does, then it extends the. I've read it somewhere. I don't remember the specifics, but I know that if they remake the game, it's gonna mess with that copyright, and I feel like Nintendo does those things strategically in order to hold on to those.
Well, they also do it because they want to preserve some kind of masterpiece, marksmanship or something.
I don't think so. I don't believe that. I don't believe that.
Okay, so
they're a business at the end of the day.
They are a business at the end of the day, but let me just make my point real quick. There was almost a crash on the video game industry with Atari.
Okay.
Because Atari would license to anyone. We can start our own company, license to Atari without getting the permission, putting the cartridge out there.
There was no quality control. Yeah, that's true.
E.T. almost destroyed the whole industry. So when Nintendo started coming here in the United States, they decided to put the seal of approval, and that's how they started controlling for the quality control. The problem is, of course, like you said, they are a corporation at the end of the day, so they do get a little defensive, and they're trying to defend their bottom dollar, and they use it to their disadvantage. Me and Isaac, or was it your mom, that we were talking about Nintendo and Microsoft?
I think it was me and you.
Okay. Xbox, rumor has it that the next Xbox is already getting finished, and it's not going to be, again, grain of salt, but it's not going to be a console as we know it. It's going to be a service. It's going to be like a Netflix or a Hulu, where you're going to go online and you can play on anything, on your phone, on your TV, on whatever it is. But that also means that you can connect to your Steam and play PlayStation exclusive games. Everyone's on board on this except for Sony. Sony does not like this. They're trying to stop it. And Nintendo are they like the idea. They're friendly with Microsoft, so there might be something that happens, but at the same time they're hesitant because they don't want to give away that control, that power. But at least now they're open to the idea of maybe collaborating with an outside company for the better of the video game industry.
Right.
So now the new Microsoft might hopefully have not only their own proprietary IPs, but they're going to have Nintendo, Steam, and even though Sony doesn't like it, PlayStation exclusive games like God of War, which would be
Well, this is a topic I'd like to continue. I know that we're getting close to the very end, right?
Done. We're done.
And so getting close to the getting to it. There's a topic about how right now the console wars have kind of pretty much ended, and there's a shift that's happening in the video game world that I think is going to be pretty interesting. So at some point I'd like to talk about that. But there is a book.
We'll put a pin on that one.
Right. There's a book that I'd want to recommend. It's called Game Over, and it was written by a guy named David Sheff, and it basically outlines the history of Nintendo up into like the early 2000s. I don't know if any revisions have come out, so I'm going to look out for that. But the book itself tells a great story narrative that covers a lot of things you're talking about, specifically on why they did certain things with regards to the Nintendo seal of approval, because there is a business aspect, and they ultimately did have a hand in the microchip shortage that happened in the 80s. That was kind of it was a marketing ploy that caused actually worldwide kind of like panic and raise prices. But interesting.
Gee, I wonder what that's like, NVIDIA. And on that note, Enrique?
You know what? Cheers, man. This was a great episode. I honestly thought we were going to talk about UFOs, but I kind of dug where we went. So
On the next one.
And
remember, never make eye contact while eating a banana. Good night, everybody.